New York City definitely has a really high tipping culture and expectation, so just be mindful of that.
$1 at a cafe. If it's like a coffee or something that's like under $10, you tip $1.
Don't stop in the middle of the staircase, please. We all need to get somewhere, or stopping in the...
Hey everyone, I'm Leo and welcome to today's video. We are diving into something every visitor to New York City should know: what to do and what not to do as a tourist. In this incredible city, from tipping to street etiquette, we will cover everything you need to blend in like a true New Yorker and avoid common tourist mistakes. So let's get started.
Oh, my name is Leo and I'm here with
Kevin,
Kevin. Nice meeting you. You look amazing.
thank you.
Where are you going right now?
I'm going home. I live in Fort Greene.
Oh, it's a really great neighborhood here.
It's beautiful.
Do you get to see a lot of tourist people?
Yeah, sometimes. I work around Flatiron, so there's a lot of tourists around there. Obviously, we're here in Brooklyn Museum. There's a lot of tourists out today. So
That's great. So we are creating a YouTube content on what tourist people should and should not do. We're talking about tipping culture. Can you give some advice when you pay no tips, 15%, 18%, 20%, and when you pay more than 25%?
okay. No tips. That's like Chipotle or like fast food. So anytime it's like a sit-down restaurant, I always tip about 20%, something like that. 50%, hectic cab ride, honestly, or like Uber or something like that.
New York City definitely has a really high tipping culture and expectation, so just be mindful of that when you visit. The percentage has also gone up with inflation, with the cost of living in New York City, and I think right now generally 20% is where I range. Depends on how many people you're eating with, but if you have a party of 6, I know some restaurants also have like automatic tipping, so you also want to be cautious of that when you're paying your bill. Some places already have that in your bill, so being with a group of more than 6+, that requires more service, more attention, and that could be 25%. And it also depends on where you're getting your service. So if it's a cafe, I'm not saying that you always have to pay 20% on a coffee. Like, that is a lot, and it might not be something that a lot of people can afford every day.
I would say if it's just like a standard, like you sit down, you eat, and it's only like 1 or 2 people, and then you go, and it's not really like the waitress, the waiter is coming to check in on you constantly, or like anything special, that's when I would go around like the typical 18% route. And then if like I do have good service, I do have a waiter who constantly checks on like if I have water or if I'm like getting my meals on time, then that's when I'll go like 20, 22. And then 25 would be like if they're going above and beyond. Like if they're, let's say one person in your party has a dietary restriction and they are accommodating that, then I'll go for the 25%.
Still yes and no. Is it okay to tip 10% for pickups?
Sure.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Is it okay to tip 5% for pickup?
Yes.
Yeah.
Acceptable.
I only tip basically for restaurants or coffee shops or like food service
How
jobs.
about fast food?
No.
You don't pay tips in fast food?
Yeah.
How about a coffee?
I always tip $1 at a cafe. If it's like a coffee or something that's like under $10, you tip $1. Otherwise, 20%. It's pretty easy.
Now, have you ever paid 25% or more
Yeah.
at a restaurant?
Yeah. Half the time by accident. Other half the time because like we were being really annoying or like had too many like maybe like I'm allergic to this thing. Make sure you don't have it or something. Like if I feel bad because we're like causing too much trouble. Yeah.
That's very conscientious of you. Also, what about when you're taking taxi?
Yeah, I do that too actually. Yeah, 20% on taxi rides.
20%.
Yeah. 20% or $2 if it's under, I think like, I don't know, $15 or something.
I guess in the same vein, just keep it moving. Like if you're ever lost or you need to check the streets or you need to check your phone, stand on the side of the sidewalk or on the side of wherever you're walking, just so you don't make traffic for everyone else, because New York is a very walkable city. People are constantly trying to get to where they need to be. And sometimes, if you just stand in the middle of the street, then everyone's gonna get mad at you. And then that's when the stereotype of New Yorkers are mean comes out, because everyone's telling you to move out the way. So just being considerate about your surroundings, yeah.
So I live near Times Square area, and the thing that tourists do the most is just stop in place, especially when they get out of the train, because they're like looking around, and I, will be on my maps too, but they literally just stop in the middle of the street, and it causes so much traffic. So just keep walking, just walk faster. That's my one piece of advice. Yeah.
Ask the tourists, please do not stop in the middle of, like, when you're going up from the train, don't stop in the middle of the staircase, please. We all need to get somewhere, or stopping in the middle of the streets to look up Google Maps. Just instead, it would be much nicer if y'all could just like step to the side a little bit and then look up Google Maps, and not like in the middle of like a super packed street, because people are trying to get somewhere and it can get a little tedious when it's like a group of tourists blocking the street. So that's my only ask, but all love to tourists.
I feel like a lot of tourists might feel like they want to give money or help homeless people, and while like you can do this and it will probably help them, a lot of homeless people like just use that money to buy more drugs and don't actually use it to buy them food. If they want to do something, they can go to a store and buy the homeless person like a meal or something. But mainly I'd say just like avoid homeless, not like avoid them, but like, yeah, just like if they keep trying to like talk to you, you can just ignore them. You don't have to feel awful about it.
Yeah, I mean, you can ignore them, and if that feels bad for you, I think that a lot of the time what I can do is I politely decline or like de-escalate the situation. I say like, no thank you, or like, no, I don't have anything, just to quickly get out of the situation in a polite, reasonable manner.
You want to give homeless people the benefit of the doubt. There's homeless people who are the type of homeless people that are drug addicts, and that's they've gotten themselves into that situation. And there are people that are suffering from the housing crisis in New York City, and they might not have had much of a better option than being homeless. So give them the benefit of the doubt, but keep an eye out for someone that isn't in their right mind or will be dangerous. So avoid is always the best thing to do. But then be polite, because they are still people if they do seem like they're not a bad type of homeless person.
So what should you not do when you're visiting New York City? Well, for one, don't stop in the middle of the sidewalk. This city moves fast, and blocking the flow of foot traffic can frustrate locals. Also, if you're getting a ride, whether it's a taxi or an Uber, make sure to tip your driver. It's part of the culture here, and even for a small service like coffee, it's a good manner to leave a little extra. And when it comes to helping the homeless, it's important to use your judgment. Many tourists want to lend a hand, but handing out money isn't always the best solution. If you really want to help, maybe buy someone a meal instead. In short, be mindful of the culture here, keep moving, tip well, and respect everyone you encounter.